Hello there, and I hope you're having a wonderful vacation. Here we are from That Nerd Couple. This is Brandon again. I'm here to talk about cruising. Yes, as one of my favorite cruise tubers would say, cruising in a bad imitation.
You fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
In any case, we are going to be going on the wonderful Star of the Seas, the current holder of the title of the biggest cruise ship in the world! So we're going to be doing that for the inaugural sailing. That is an amazing thing. And I am doing what many of you, no doubt, are doing if you're going on a cruise. And that is watching the cruise tube. All those lovely ones, La Lita Loca, Travel Spree, very unofficial travel guides, just to name a few. I love them, you love them, but there are some things that they just don't get. I was watching one guy a while back, and he was complaining about how he would never do the regular dining because it was beneath him. Like, beneath him? I can only afford the regular dining. But I'm not saying that all of them are like that. Everybody has different levels. But when you go on cruises or vacations many times a year, your outlook changes in life. You are no longer that person who struggles to put the money together and take that one vacation. Either because, one, money's not there, two, vacation time is not there, or three, all the above. Now, me and Kim, we are moderately well incomed. Nothing from this channel, but our jobs help us maintain middle class and enjoying that. But as far as time, we don't have a lot of time to take long vacations. We usually have enough time to take that one long vacation a year. And because of that, we try to make it as special as we can. Because again, these are the experiences that have to hold us for the full year. So I want to re-examine. I've been watching many people do these videos about things that you're wasting your money on, wasting your time on in the cruise. This was inspired by a channel, I'm not going to call them out, but this was inspired by a channel when they were talking about London, when we decided to go to London and Paris for our big trip in 2024. And they were like, never take the London Eye. Don't go up the Eiffel Tower. They're just cliche. Tourists do that. When you see it, trust me, I've been there many times, and it's just not worth it. But how was it the first time you went? They don't remember because they've been there that long. They've been doing it over and over again. So that type of thing is there. We went to the London Eye. We went up the Eiffel Tower. And though we may not do it again if we go back, I can guarantee you that we enjoyed every minute of both of those activities. So I want to examine 15 items that a lot of these cruise videos say, don't do that. You're just wasting your money. You're just wasting your time. And examine that and see why it, yes, could be a waste of your time and money, and why it might just be worth the extra spending. So, let's just start off with number one. And by the way, I'm going to be referencing mostly Royal Caribbean. That's what I know. We've been on many Royal Caribbean cruises. We understand them very well. The others we only understand in what we've read and seen. So I'm going to be using them for my main reference. And I'll be using some photography from Star of the Seas as a way of just showing that and showcasing my excitement for those ships. So let's just talk about this. 1. Don't buy from the cruise stores. The typical discussion there is, yes, these cruise stores that are on the ship, they're overpriced, they are rip-offs. Get your stuff at home, buy in the ports. That is your cheap way of getting things. And as common sense goes, yes, that is true. That can be a decent way of doing it. You're rarely going to get a great deal. They make it look like you're going to get a great deal, and you don't really. But at the same time, there are some cases I can be making, for why it might be fun. For instance, one of my favorite watches that subsequently my cat stole and I haven't been able to find since. But one of my favorite watches actually came from a cruise. They were doing a cruise vending. I did online comparisons to what they were offering off, and the prices were reasonable. I got to actually see it, enjoy it, and wear it a little bit to try it out, and I enjoyed it. The purchase was great. I enjoyed the experience, and I still remember the watch and the purchase experience to this day. Unfortunately, I would be enjoying the watch to this day, but the cats had a different idea. Yes, but little thieves they are. And when we talk about the other stores, yeah, there's big markups. I mean, yes, the Dramamine is high. Yes, all the other stuff is high. But I do want to make a basic case for why you might want to do that. Let's say you get really seasick and you do forget your Dramamine. Let's say you're on a crossing. Let's say you're going from New York to London or whatever, and you forgot the Dramamine. Now you're going to say, just to save some bucks, you're going to be sick for most of your trip. Why? It's not worth it. This is time that is valuable to you. If you cannot get it out sooner, if you are sick, it's not even worth wasting one day. That $20-some, yes, you are paying way over market value, but if you're going to be able to salvage it and have a good time with it, then it is still $20 worth spent. Because to me, I'd rather spend $20 and have a good time than spend nothing and say, yes, I'm happy, I didn't spend that extra money, but by the way, I stayed in my cabin the entire trip. Or even I had to stay in my cabin for 2 days until we got to the nearest port where I could buy it. That's just not worth it to me. I don't get to go on another cruise until, who knows, maybe 2026, maybe 2027, who knows what's going to go on in the world. Who knows what's going to go on with my job? I don't know. And if things go belly up, I may never go on another vacation. So why am I going to try and waste any moment? To me, it's well worth it if you are preserving and having some extra time, some extra fun. Common sense is, yes, try to pack that stuff beforehand. We are packing the Dramamine beforehand. Watch those videos that show you what to take, what to pack. They are very useful. But if you forget it, just look at it as a blow, and then if you have to go to the cruise store, go to the cruise store. It's better than wasting the time. If it's one of those itineraries where you're going to be someplace where you can buy it in a few hours, that's another thing. But don't waste a day of your cruise. A full day of your cruise is not worth that exchange. Number 2. And just number 3. Let's just get them both down. Ultimate drinking and dining packages. They are not worth it. They are not worth it. You're spending way too much money. The ultimate drinking package, they kind of put it across like, what, are you a drunk? Are you an alcoholic? I mean, what kind of person is crazy enough to drink 8 or 9 drinks a day? I mean, really? I mean, gosh, you must have a problem. Go to AA. I mean, most sensible people only have 1 or 2 drinks a day, and that's all they need. And that might be true. That might be true. But I don't know about you, but me, I do go a little bit overboard. I may not drink that many drinks, alcoholic drinks, a day. And one of the things that we're going to be doing for our video is I've got a counter, and I'm going to see how many alcoholic drinks I'm having in a day, and I'm going to calculate if the cruise package was worth it for me.
These are the kind of thoughts that kept me out of the really good schools.
Now, as far as other things, the orange juices, the mocktails, especially on Star of the Seas, I've heard they have amazing mocktails that are almost as expensive as the cocktails. Sodas, specialty coffees, which by the way are Starbucks coffees, just can't get it from the standalone Starbucks. All of that is included in the ultimate drink package.
Everyone wants my Dunkachino. Can't get enough of my Dunkachino. Kids from 7 to 17 lining up for my Dunkachino.
And if you are doing that all the time, that's great. And I don't like the free tea, coffee, and stuff that they do serve. The free coffee on Royal has been nasty. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
I also like the fact that there is no issue with getting a drink on the ship. When we went to Hatteras in 2019, it had been a while since we did something that was all-inclusive. I had to calculate every meal, every drink. Every single purchase was a planned thing, all from the budget to make sure that we had enough to last us for the trip and didn't go over. There was no fun in it. There was no enjoyment. I prefer just not eating if I could, and I just kind of didn't indulge in most things because it was just such a pain adding up the money, and we just like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? Whereas with the cruise, much like anything else, having the drink package allows you to get that drink and not have to worry about is it paid for. It's already been paid for. You already paid the gratuities. Everything is done. If you want to give an extra $1 here or there for good service, that's up to you, but that's pressure free. Despite what they may tell you, that is pressure free, and that can be worth a lot. A cruise state is also a state of mind. A vacation state is a state of mind. And it's one thing if you are in that business mode. If you're taking like 7 or 8 cruises this year, your mind can already go into that business mindset of, well, I mean, I've got 6 other cruises. I need to calculate, I need to staple out the money. You're already in that monetary mindset. You're really not in the relaxed vacation mindset. When you are somebody like myself and I am out in the ocean, I don't want to think about bills. I don't want to think about chores. I don't want to think about home, work, none of it. And if I am not having to deduct all of those extra drinks from my head, from my budget, every time, that's well worth a little bit of extra. So, and an ultimate dining package is in a similar vein. With Star of the Seas, there is that argument to be made is that they have so many complimentary venues that it may not be worth it. We're going to check that out and we're going to see. But there are other ships that the free venues are kind of crappy, and sometimes the only good food is at the more upscale venues. So, I mean, Chops is a good example. We love the steak and chops. When we went and got the dining room steak, it was nasty. So it's a difference. And this also gives you a little edge on just enjoyment. We're going to love going to the hibachi restaurant. And Chops is one of our favorite restaurants on board. We're actually trying our first section of the cruise without the package and our second with, just to see. It is a big savings, and if you're not going to use it, don't. And I would say if we were just sailing on Star once, then yeah, but we're actually doing a back-to-back. So we're going to take advantage so we can take advantage of all the restaurants. And this is going to be fun. So I think, especially if, let's say, you are coming back, and let's say it's an old ship and you go once every other year, like we used to do with Anthem. We would just go back to the same ship each time. Sometimes it's worth it just to enjoy those extra perks. You've been there, you know what the food is like. So enjoy yourself. Treat yourself, because you may not be able to. You may be going back to like salads and hot dogs for lunch or Spam or whatever it is that you might eat day to day. We don't eat the best day to day, and sometimes it's just great to be able to splurge for the whole time.
Anybody else feel like a little giggle?
And again, it's paid for. We paid for it well in advance. Done. Now, it is good to wait and see what you got deals, but again, it's up to you. I mean, that's one of the great things about this is you can always, at any time for these things, obtain and cancel as you want. Number 4, cruise-sponsored excursions. I know what you're going to say. Really, cruise-sponsored excursions? Everybody knows that the best excursions are done third party. I mean, they're the cheapest, the people are better, you got lower crowds, they know what they're doing, it's gonna be, they're just better.
I'd buy that for $1.
That may well be. But let's say you are new to a place. Like, we've never been to Mexico before. We've never been to Roatan before. And I don't know any of these third parties. But I do know that Royal Caribbean will back those that they actually do. They vet them, because if they do anything to you, it falls on the cruise ship. If they don't get you to the ship in time, that falls to the cruise ship, and the cruise ship knows where you were. So if they're trying to abduct you and sell you into slavery for some reason, then the likelihood is that Royal Caribbean will be able to say, well, they got on this excursion, so they'd be able to track it at least to that point. And yes, they may be somewhat crowded, but that's also a bulk benefit. You are just going there, it's just you two and this one shady person going out to the middle of nowhere in the ocean.
Ordered by Pirates is good.
Well, yeah. And then, of course, they help you get back to the ship on time. If they're running late, the ship will either wait for you or Royal Caribbean will help pay to get you on at the next destination. So you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to be one of those cruise runners that, hold on, wait for me. You don't have to worry about that. You can enjoy what you're doing. And then you come back later, maybe you do want to do a third party. Maybe you get that investigation going, you talk to people, and you do. Let's say you want a deeper look at where you're at. Maybe then. It's the same thing with staying on the ship at these places. Yeah, I agree. Staying on the ship can save you, 1, a lot of money, and 2, you can take advantage of the uncrowded ship. But what if you've never been to the places before? When we first went to the Bahamas, we went to Nassau, and of course the chief advice is, I remember one of my favorite videos from Very Unofficial Travel Guide, best thing to do in Nassau, alright, get off the ship, turn around, get right back on the ship. And I agree with that, but I do think getting off the first time was well worth it, because I was able to actually explore it, I was able to see the place and enjoy it. I probably would have been better off with a sponsored excursion like I got the second time we went to Blue Lagoon. And that's just something there. I mean, again, people want to experience these things. I may never go to Mexico or Roatan again, so why not take advantage? Number 5, gambling on the casinos. Well, or in the casinos. You want to be in them, not on them. This goes differently, and not all cruise tubers are like, don't play in the casinos. No, there are some that are very big into the casinos. This one's kind of on the mark. Some people are against it, some are. And when they're against it, they say, well, the house is much more stacked against you than other places. Well, what if you don't get out to gamble other places? At least this is the only way you can get out and gamble, and you like to gamble. Well, then gamble. Enjoy your vacation. We ran into many people who that's what they love doing. They love to get out. They love to do the gambling on the ship. And when they do the gambling, they enjoy winning or not winning. They gain their points and they get their free cruise and they come back again. So nothing wrong with that. If that is what you like, that's how you're enjoying your vacation. And hey, you get another cruise to come back. It's just a part of the experience. You may have paid just as much, if not more, than what you're going to pay for that cruise otherwise. But again, what's the harm? You enjoyed yourself while you were gaming. Don't let other people shame you about that. I won't be doing that, but... Number 6, the spa. Spa's a ripoff. No, I agree with that. Spa is a ripoff. But, again, sometimes this is the only access people have to a spa. Some people don't have spas available in their city like I do. And it can cost a lot of money to get over to one. So why not take advantage of it while you have one there? Sometimes having that extra relaxation while you're on your vacation, it's the only opportunity you do have. Maybe you work 7 days a week and you don't get time to go to the spa. That the only vacation you have is this one. Get some enjoyment out of it. But yes, it is a ripoff otherwise. If you have other access and you do have other time, then yeah, just do something elsewhere. But yeah, enjoy it if you don't. No harm in that. Number 7, don't order room service. It's a waste. Again, is it? Because you are actually enjoying yourself in your room, relaxing, eating your meal there. In some cases, breakfast isn't even charged. In some cases, if you have the dining packages, you're not charged, or you get a substantial discount. Yeah, the food isn't nearly as good doing this, but it can be enjoyable eating in your room on the ship. Next is double tipping. Well, you pay gratuities usually on the board, so why tip more? That's a waste of money. Again, no, I don't think so. Let's say your bartender does you really well. Giving them a little extra tip shows them that you did enjoy the service, and they may give you that extra nice service. Your room steward is a very important person. I know we are going to be tipping our room stewards before and after the cruise because they're the ones who are going to make sure our cruise is in ship shape, and they're going to be the ones helping us navigate the back-to-back when we change out rooms. I have no desire to get my luggage lost. And I do feel that it's going to be useful. So I do think that double tipping is actually a good thing to have. That's just general overall, in my opinion. And I think that is one that some people agree with, some people don't. Touristy restaurants, number 9. Don't go to Senior Frogs. It's overpriced. The food is meh. Yeah, but the atmosphere is rockin'. Don't get me wrong, I do think that Senior Frogs is not exactly the best indication of Bohemian food, or Mexican food, or whatever food you are getting. I agree with you. But if you're going there, the one time I did eat at Senior Frogs, I enjoyed it. I had my hurricane drink, I had some chicken tenders that were mid, but I did enjoy that because I got to look over the blue waters, it was excellently positioned, and it was enjoyable. That's what vacation is about. I wasn't in some seedy place having very authentic food but worried about being robbed the whole time. I was not worried at all. Security was very good at Senior Frogs. I enjoyed it. I felt safe, I felt secure, and I enjoyed my time there. Matter of fact, the first time I was at Nassau, that was the most secure I felt the entire time I had my feet on the shore of Nassau. So again, the touristy restaurants, don't avoid them necessarily. If you are out for local cuisine, yeah, avoid them. But if you're just looking for some nice atmosphere and something to enjoy the area you're in a safe way, sometimes the touristy destinations are not as bad. Number 10, don't bother with priority boarding or the key for Royal Caribbean. We're kind of sad. We wanted to get the key for our first boarding because we love priority boarding. I don't like crowds, which is strange that I like cruising. But cruising is not about crowds all the time. You can get away from the crowds under most cruises. I do admit that Star has me intimidated for the number of people that are on it. But I do have that hope that just like my experience at Anthem that happened not too long after it sailed, for the first time will hold up that it is crowded in sometimes, but for the most part you can get away from crowds and just have kind of a decent experience. And getting on board priority-wise is a great thing, because I don't have to be wall-to-wall people waiting like you have to on the normal. It's going to be a pain boarding normally this time around. I've done it once, I guess I can do it again. That makes the key worth it for me right there. I like having the priority seats at the shows. They are in the nosebleeds, but at least I can just walk in and get it. I don't have to be there an hour before the show to find a seat, even if I have arranged for it. I somewhat liked the lunch, but that is not needed for our voyage, but still. So there's some pluses for this. 11. Bottled water. Don't get the bottled water, just get the waters from there. And if you got the drink package, just get the canned waters or whatever. What if you don't want the canned waters? And they give you some Evian if you are boarding Star of the Seas. We got it at a deal that was less than $1 a bottle. And I'm not talking the little ones, I'm talking the big ones. And we got like a big old supply of that.
Shut up and take my money!
I don't know about you, but having those waters available is nice. And getting them at less than you get them at retail, also nice. With all the alcohol I drink from the drink package, having water on hand and easy to access in the room is a wonderful thing. And we will be plenty stocked up for the entirety of our voyage. I am very happy with what we did there. Not everybody, not for everyone, but sometimes it's great having it there for the convenience. 12. Getting a cabana or beach bed. This is again debatable, but if you are only going on this, why not get the best experience of your time? If you're on a ship that you know the ship, we're not getting any of those cabanas on this ship because we're going to be moving around. We want to see as much of the ship as humanly possible, and as big as the ship is, we're worried we're not going to see everything before we're done. So we're not going to be sitting around in one spot. But if we were back on Anthem, it might be different, because in Anthem we did tend to stay at one spot, typically the Solarium, because it's a great place. And because we have seen everything. We knew Anthem back and forth. So there is a debate there. Having somebody bring you your drinks in there, that's not bad. I mean, I don't like some of those places on Star. I mean, they're all in direct sun. I burn in 5 minutes under the sun. I don't need to be in direct sun all day. And they are expensive. But I do understand. Like, let's say you love sun, and you love this, and you want to make sure you got it reserved because people like to go up at 6 in the morning, put a towel over a chair, and say, it's mine all day. And that's where you go. Now, it is different on, say, the private island for us. We love the beach beds because they've got shade, they bring you stuff, it's very nice. We like to stay in one place on Coco Cay, so we get the beach bed each time. To us, it's worth the expense because we enjoy that. We do hang around all day, and it is a wonderful experience. So, the next one, 13, prepaid gratuities. People say, best way to save money, go to the desk and remove those gratuities. That way you can spend them. If you don't like to tip people, you don't have to. And if you do like to tip people, you can just tip the people that are right there for you. And there is a lot of debate about how much it really helps all of them. But it's also factored in as a part of their wages for all the crews, and that's important. Everybody does stuff, even those behind the scenes, so I don't mind having my money to go to all of them and then tip a little bit extra, see the double tipping section, for those that actually helped us specifically. I just look at it as another part of the original fees, that's my opinion. 14, balcony cabins. Why get that? Save money, get an indoor cabin. You're not going to be in the cabin anyway. I like having the balcony cabins. I like being able to walk out on the balcony, get the cool breeze, especially at night, just to enjoy myself, to enjoy the ocean, to hear it, and not have to deal with the people on board. Walk out on my underwear in the middle of the ocean, nobody's going to see my butt anyway. And nothing wrong with that. I love having that experience. And there are people who are out on the ship constantly, but I like spending some time in the room and enjoying the room. I don't need the big spaces of the suites, but why not enjoy myself a little bit and make that vacation extra memorable? Some of my most memorable occasions are sitting out in the morning in a cool morning with my book on the balcony, or at night watching the moon and the water go by, dressed very comfortably, dressed down, not having to worry about other people walking by. Finally, the Wi-Fi. Why do you want to be connected while you're on the ship? Shut down, enjoy your vacation. And that you would think would be an antithesis to what I'm talking about. Is like, yes, isn't this what you're talking about? Enjoy your vacation, don't get the Wi-Fi. And that may be the case, but what if surfing the web, what if watching YouTube, what if watching TikTok, if that's your thing, is one of your big things? What if a lot of your ebooks require internet? What if you like to be able to stay in contact and do like I used to do, and I still do on occasion, is send videos back to my mother about where I'm at so that we can chat back and forth about how lovely the trip is? What's wrong with that? Nothing's wrong with that. That's also enjoying it. Again, there's no reason to cut yourself off from something just because others tell you not to do it. If you like it, do it. I think at the end of this, the whole idea is this is your vacation. This may be your one chance to enjoy yourself for the whole year. So, for once, don't worry about the budget. Don't worry about what you're spending. If you can afford it, the best thing about cruises is 90% of it is prepaid. So you've already saved up and paid for these things on this list. 90% of this list you have paid for before you even got on the ship. So you don't have to budget it out. It has been paid. So you've saved up, you've paid these things. If you're getting extra enjoyment out of it, is it something that is going to contribute? When you take a vacation, part of it is for enjoyment that you will be able to relive off and on for a long time because you don't get it very often. You only have 1, maybe 2 weeks of enjoyment to take per year. Why not live it to the max? Well, this has been That Nerd Couple again. I guess we will be seeing you on the Star of the Seas as we enjoy her maiden voyage. We'll see you on that next video. Bye-bye.